Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
No. Not so clear.
Oh, that's okay. How about now?
No, still very
All
faint.
right. Is it better now?
No.
Okay. Let me try other. Hello.
I can hear you, but it's not clear. It's not loud.
Is it loud enough?
Not really, but I can manage it.
Okay. Sure. All right. Anyway, I saw the birth chart that you sent me. So I believe
Yeah.
your question is more related to the combination relationship between um the Kui and the Wu within the birth chart. Am I correct?
I just like to sort of come up with a structured approach in how to read a chart, and then so I use this as an example.
Sure, sure. Right. If you remember
So
that the lesson on the combination relationship, one of the most important factors is to consider whether there is a root to the resultant factor within the Bazi chart.
right, so
Yeah.
it has a ding fire, but not a bing fire. So does it matter?
If it is if you observe the birth chart, there is a Wu fire at the month of branch. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes. And have you actually observed the day in which this person was born? Was it within the range of the Zi Earth or within the range of the Wu Earth?
What do you mean by that?
If you refer to the slide, right? You remember the slide that I have shown you during the lesson? There is
Yeah,
this
like
part
the first
whereby,
9 days, so it's June 6th, so it should be Bing, right? The Bing element is
yes,
the hour,
yes,
or
correct.
is the elemental energy for the monthly branch, right?
Yes, you're correct. So if it is of the Ding fire, that is of the dominant energy, then it would mean there will be a high chance of this combination relationship successfully taking place, right?
You mean Ding
Yeah.
or Bing?
Um. Okay. As long as it is the fire as the dominant energy, you because I believe one of your question is to check whether it is after the transformation, the day master will be of a yang or a yin in nature. Am I correct?
You mean strong or weak, right?
As in the Kui, when it is being paired with Wu Earth, it should have a different kind of um, characteristics. I mean, the day master itself will form different characteristics. So you actually, right, in real life situation, you should no longer take it as a Kui water day master. You can actually take it as a Yang fire day master in the sense that given the Yang fire, which is Wu, is at the month of branch.
And because the month hidden element in the Earth branch is,
Yes,
so is it Bing fire or Ding fire?
it is Ding
Because
fire.
Wu
Within
is
Wu
Bing, right?
is a hidden Ding fire within. And other hidden
Yes.
factor will be the Zi Earth. But given the day in which he was born, the dominant energy was fire. So the chart will be rooted in the fire, in the sense that this Kui water day master will be very weak. And this fire elemental energy will be the dominant energy in the entire chart. If you observe the time pillar, there's also two wood elemental energy, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of Batsu tree, there's actually what I call is like a kind of phenomena whereby metal is able to chop down the wood and enhancing the ability of the wood to fuel fire.
it's a very weakened metal, right?
The metal is weak, but nonetheless, it is still a yang metal. So,
Where?
it's a yin metal at the earth branch.
At in the day pillar, yeah, and hidden in the year pillar, right?
Yes, also another one hidden in the year earth branch. You are correct because 是有丑 form a metal combination formation. But due to the fact that the fire elemental energy is dominant at the month of branch, it will, in a sense, cause this metal to be weak. But still, this wood elemental energy at the time pillar will be able to fuel the fire. So the entire
fire?
Within Wu is always Ding fire. So I believe the reason you're asking whether it is going to, is the dominant energy being fire or Ding fire is because you want to be more precise into the analysis of the transformation of the day master. Is that what you're trying to analyze?
Okay, so let me break it down into so the month right now is Wu horse.
Yes.
Ding fire, correct?
Yes, correct.
But because of your because it's within the first 10 days of the Wu month, the dominant energy is actually Bing fire, correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So when we do an analysis, do we does the Wu horse become Bing fire or does it remain Ding fire?
It will remain as Ding fire. In the sense because by the very nature of Wu, the hidden stem is actually Ding fire.
Right?
Yeah.
But because of the day in the month of June, it's like you just use Bing fire as the energy that would either strengthen or weaken, but it doesn't transform anything. Is that correct? Or
as long as the Wu earth that is at the heavenly stems and the Kui water is at the heavenly stems being rooted at this this Wu fire, right? Because within Wu fire there is Ding fire. So it will create a transformation relationship.
Okay, so my question was, so the Wu and the Kui water would go into Bing fire, correct? Transform. Because it's rooted with the same element, right?
Because you look at the very nature of Wu fire is one that is yang in nature, right? If you count the yang yin and yang relationship, am I right? Yeah. So we will root the resultant element to the nature of the earth branch element, in this case, which is yang fire. So eventually, Kui and Wu will be paired to become a Bing fire. Even though within the hidden stem, it is Ding fire. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, because Wu is actually Yang fire.
Yes. You're saying Wu.
You don't look at the hidden stem.
The hidden stem is a very, because hidden stem overall is still a kind of secondary energy. When we look at Wu fire as a whole, it is a Yang fire as a whole. Within Wu, there is Zhi Earth and Ding fire, but all these are secondary in nature. So at the end, we still look at the Wu fire in itself as the Yang fire, which will bring about Kui and Wu pairing together to form a Yang fire transformation also.
Oh, okay. Because I totally don't even, when I see it, I don't see horse as yang fire. I see it as ding and ji earth.
Oh, all right. So now you get a clear idea of how to analyze the resultant relationship, the nature of the resultant relationship. You look at the dominant as in the main energy, what we in Chinese call 主气, which is the um it's very much like the main energy of the earth branch, giving rise to or to simplify even further, as long as the root, which is at the month of branch, it is of yang in nature, then the resultant element will follow that yang nature. Or if in another case, right? I mean, on the other hand, if the root is yin in nature, then the combination relationship, depending on the resultant element, will also be yin in nature. I believe this is also written in the study notes. You may refer to. I will check the page for you, and later on you may reread that part, and you'll be able to get an better idea.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so now, so do we look at it as the month being Bing fire, but month heavenly stem as Bing fire, year as in Bing fire, or does a day master actually also change to Bing fire, or all three changes to Bing fire?
All of them can become Bing fire. Thus, it will bring about a very great transformation to the entire birth chart. And thus the reason why the transformation relationships are very important in terms of Bazi reading.
So if it becomes Bing fire, then it becomes a really strong then.
Yes, you are correct. It will become a very strong, and in fact, yeah, it is really a very strong kind of fire chart at the end of the day. Do you know this person like in real life, or is it a random birth chart?
I know he's my cousin, but his one thing is actually not that great.
Currently, he's entering into 2023. Due to the fact that Ren is able to enhance wood and wood further enhancing fire in his chart, it is not an auspicious trend. And additionally, I believe he may, if he's married, he may actually have some form of marital problems this year.
He's not married, but he just broke up with his girlfriend.
Oh, he just broke up with his girlfriend. Yeah, exactly the case, because Mao Yo is clashing at the spouse domain. If you look at his birth chart, the spouse domain is having Yo, and this year is of the Mao. That's the reason why he broke up with the girlfriend recently.
I actually told him last year. I said,
oh,
it might be
okay.
not that good for you.
I see. Yep. So I will say.
The thing is, if you say this is very strong,
yeah.
But then he doesn't really have much, he doesn't have really much luck.
Yes. As mentioned, due to the wood elemental energy at the time pillar, it will bring about more, will fuel the fire energy even more. That's the reason why wood can be a kind of inauspicious element in his chart. So it would be better if he entered into decade trends or yearly trends of the metal element. That will bring about more positive developments, but that will be about 10 years later. During his 60s, he'll be entering into the zinc metal. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So if I were to read this, then how do you read it with its natal, or do you read it with all day, month, year, heavenly stems as Bing? Right?
Yes.
It becomes a very totally different chart if you read everything as Bing.
Yeah, you are correct. That's the we have to be very careful with the kind of transformation that are taking place within the chart. Nonetheless, right, if you look at his decade trend from 20 to 2028 onwards, then he will be entering into the Zi decade trend that will catch us with the Wu fire at the month of brunch. And that can actually cause him to revert back to a Kui water day master instead. Therefore, what I'm trying to say is that during the Zi trend, you have to actually also additionally look at the year to see what are the heavenly stems and earthly branch present, right? Are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. So especially yeah, doing
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying
yeah
to say. That's
from 2028 to 2032 because it is all rather strong in the metal and water elemental energy. 2028 is of the sun, and then 2029 有 2030 Xu enhancing gunmetal, 2031 Xing high, which is metal enhancing water, 2032 Renzi, both of the water elements. So all these 5 years, his Wu Earth month of branch will definitely be minimized. I mean, the energy of this fire will be extremely minimized, causing the transformation to also be destroyed by the presence of these 5 years of water elemental energy and metal elemental energy kind of yearly developments. So will that be positive for him? I would say if the Wu Earth, I mean, if the transformation are no longer present, his chart actually can become strong actually. I mean, can revert back to a Quay Water Day Master. And given that if we minus off the Wu Earth at the month of branch, right, Su You Chou will form a metal combination formation, and that is enhanced by the Wu Earth, causing there to be a metal elemental combination that is strong, enhancing both of the Quay Water at the birth chart. Therefore, it is still not very positive for him, I will say. I will say it's rather, yeah, kind of unlucky. He doesn't have a very good decade trends, and also the original chart is kind of complicated, given that it can always be transformed to another element. So sadly, sometimes we have charts that are, being locked in such a situation that can cause the person to have difficulty enjoying positive trends in life. Yeah.
So
Mm.
okay.
Yeah. So I will
If I
say,
were
yeah,
to look at this chart,
yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so let's ignore the decade trends for now.
Yes.
I just want to look at the natal chart, okay?
Yeah.
So if we look at the natal chart,
Yeah.
then an original analysis would be weak Quay water, correct?
Yes. If it is to be analyzed without the transformation, I will say it is how do I put it? Because there is no way that I can ignore the presence of the Wu Earth right at the month of branch. So can I determine as the weekday master? I will say, yeah. I mean, if you really want to put it that way, using the normal conventional approach of Bazi analysis, we can still consider it as a Quay water day master that is weak. But of course, as I've always mentioned, each Bazi chart is very different and very unique by its per se. So you must really analyze each chart uh, from a unique approach uh, that is in accordance with the very nature of that chart. Like in this case, this chart can be turned into fire, and at the same time, it is a water day master. So it's very complicated. may not all child can. I mean, this is a very good case study. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a very unique case, and such case does exist. So you must take into consideration that it may be a quiet water day master at the same time can be transformed into a Bing fire day master. It's a very unique chart. It's a very good case study actually. Yeah, I think it's a very good case study. This.
So okay, let's pick this apart then.
Yeah.
So you and Mao in the branch, right? Those are that's a clash, correct?
Yes, there's a clash.
Hour and date.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
So what does that mean? Does that mean that there is, because that also means investments, children, your thoughts, right?
Yes. There are few interpretations that are possible. First of all, his relationship or his marriage will be unstable or unable to form a long-term kind of fulfilling kind of marriage or relationship. Secondly, there can also be a possibility that he doesn't have any children at the moment, right?
No.
Yeah. So having this kind of clash relationship also show low chances of having his own children, or that even if he has stepchildren, the stepchildren will not share a very positive or in kind of close relationship with him. Or another interpretation could be that his spouse may also have a disagreement or differing views, a lot of miscommunication problems with the children. I mean, his girlfriend or partner. So these are some of the signs that may show. But additionally, Mao and Yo are peach blossom stars. This also can indicate a very complicated love life, especially in the second half of his life. So all this can be taken into consideration when we conduct a Bazi reading.
So okay.
Yeah.
So Yo and Wu is also a harm relationship, correct?
Yo, when you what kind of is a harm relationship? Yes, you are correct.
No, I'm sorry. Chou and Wu.
Chou and Wu. Yes, Chou and Wu shares a harm relationship. Nonetheless, in real life analysis, Chou and Wu, in a sense, it is still an enhancing relationship. So it is both a harming relationship and also a kind of enhancing relationship, because Wu is fire and Chou is, of course, an earth elemental energy. So in real life practice, in terms of practical analysis, this kind of harm may be not so serious kind of harm. Could mean parents may have a more maybe he came from a more complicated background, like sharing a very kind of love-hate relationship with parents, or relationship with parents are like kind of okay for a moment, then it's like very fluctuating kind of relationship. All right, so
and it's because it's between month and year.
Yes, it's because in the year and the month, and this usually show his personal background. For example, relationship with parents, or even perhaps grandparents. They may not be very well-to-do, or they have a lot of hardships in life, etc. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. So okay.
Yeah.
So is there a special combination where, because he has 3 of the Tofa?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, the peach blossom.
He's missing the D.
Yes, correct.
Now, he has it now.
Yeah, he has it now. Also, I believe in the future his love life will be even more more kind of chaotic in a sense, because it is honestly speaking, in terms of Bazi reading, right? Peach Blossom Star is not really of positive stars if too many of them are found within the birth chart. This also can show an aspect of him whereby he can be someone who is very impulsive, who may take action without thorough decision making. So he may be someone who kind of prefer acting according to how he feels, and that will sometimes lead to problems in his life. Like he will take action without a thorough consideration of the consequences, etc. This kind of problems are what this kind of fish blossom stars will be prone to also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's take another. Let's step it back a little.
Yeah, sure.
And how would we go about telling somebody's personality? Because I think when we do a Bazi reading,
Yeah.
right, one of the things that makes them believe you, or
Yeah.
it catches their attention to want to read more.
Yes.
If you tell them a personality that they can relate to, right? And
Yes, you're correct.
That's more interest, right?
Yes.
So how would we go about to, like, it doesn't have to be this chart, but how do you go about to read somebody's personality? So if I were to look at this and not knowing the transformation, I would say that the dominant energy is well, fire is strong, earth is strong, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So fire is
his wealth, right? The wealth factors. Yes, correct.
Or indirect wealth.
Yes. That is
earth is
direct wealth. Yes.
7K, right?
Yes, correct.
So if those are the strong features, do you say, okay, because in his year he has Earth as the main chi in the hidden stem, does that say his personality is more 7K, or
given that,
how do you go about to interpret this? I think that's my
to
question.
be honest, right, you really have to analyze the entire chart, and there's no absolute okay, remember the 10 god systems whereby, for example, people of the output having more output stars are more expressive in nature, more talented. They like to have more. They are more opinionated, for example, and people who are having, especially when there are positive factors, right? Especially, I'm mentioning the positive aspects of such stars. People who have the well star, perhaps they are more um, especially in direct wealth, for example, they are more generous usually, and they are also usually more what I call that hedonistic in life. For example, they prefer enjoyment. So looking at his chart, right, for example, the most powerful. One of the most powerful time gods that is being observed within his chart, of course, is the direct officer. But ultimately, right, due to the transformation formation, we also observe the direct wealth. So we can observe direct wealth and direct officers are both factors that are strong within his chart. So in that way, we can look at his personality from such an angle. Direct officer usually are people who are more kind of they like to stick to a right approach of doing things, like they are more rigid, they are not so flexible, and they are usually more, I would say, in a way, indecisive. Also, everything they do, they have to make sure that they are safe and not challenging the established orders of things, right? So this could be the kind of personality that is shown by his character. Additionally, Zheng Cai, which is the direct wealth, is also another thing that is present with his in his life. So he may be someone who like to stick to a routine, um, uh, doesn't like to be more creative. Usually, they will just go to job 9 to 5, come back home, and every day they have their kind of same lifestyle day in day out. That kind of personality. So this
That's
can,
for
yeah.
direct officer.
Yes, because of the direct officer and direct wealth that are present within his birth chart as the most dominant energy.
But direct wealth, he doesn't have any, but then it's interpreted based on the transformation, right?
Yes, it's interpreted based on the transformation.
So then, so basically, when you do that, then do you view it as the day master as Bing?
Yes, I will, because it is rooted at Yang fire, which is Wu fire at the month of branch.
And the year stem would also be
Yes,
Bing,
will
right?
also be Bing.
And a month stem would also be Bing.
Yes, you are correct. Because they are all going through a transformation, so they will all be turned into Bing fire.
Then it becomes a super strong.
There is actually a chance, but given that Yu is at the day of branch and there's a Chou at the year pillar, it will be very hard to be a super strong special formation chart.
Without Bing, then all his earthly branches, hidden stems would all be different then, right?
The high hidden stems. The hidden stems will remain the same because hidden stems will
The elements are the same, but the 10 gods are the different.
yeah, the 10 gods will be different because after transformation you have to take into consideration the resultant element um given the transformation or the combination of relationships.
So G Earth would become herding officer, right?
You mean within the Chou?
Yes.
Within the Chou will not be transformed.
Right, but right now it's 7K, but then because the stem is being fired, then G Earth, instead of being 7K, it will be.
Oh yes, you are correct. I get what I mean. Yes, you are correct. You have to look at it from another angle. In the sense that after the transformation, the Zi Earth within the Chou Earth will be his output factors instead. So this is a very good case study in the sense that it shows the complication that is related to transformation relationship, and we have to be very careful in terms of the analysis. So I will say this person also will have a very complicated character or personality, and his life can be prone to a lot of ups and downs also. Yeah.
Wow, then it's very different then, because
Yeah.
the Ding fire in the month would now become Rob Wealth.
Yes, you are correct. It will be
Rob
transformed.
Wealth.
Yeah. That's also the reason why he may not be able to settle down into a marriage or long-term relationship. I mean, even now he's at the age of almost 50 years old. He's still not yet married.
Well, he was, but he got divorced.
Oh, divorce. Okay, so it's still the same case. He cannot sustain a long-term marriage or relationship.
So his day master would be sin metal, so it would be Bing. It would be Ding fire. Ding. No, indirect wealth, right?
You mean the Yo metal at the day month? I mean the day of branch.
Yes, the hidden stem would be indirect wealth now.
Yes, you're correct because the Yo is actually the direct wealth because it is Yo metal is yin in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being fire is yang in nature, so a yang and yin relationship will form a direct wealth relationship.
So his Yao metal, his sin metal will become direct wealth.
Yes, Sing metal is also yin in nature. But Sing metal, you are referring to the Sing metal hidden within the Chou Earth, am I correct?
No,
Or we hit him within the Yo?
The day.
Or the day? All right. So you're referring to the hidden stem of the Yo metal, which is a Sing metal, am I right?
Correct. So that becomes direct wealth. Right?
Yes, correct. Yes, correct. You're correct. Yeah. Nonetheless, so you really have to be careful of whether you are looking at the earth branch itself or the hidden stems because they will show a different kind of yin and yang relationship. Nonetheless, I will say ultimately the yin and yang are not a very I will say the earth branch itself, right? The yin or yang nature of the earth branch itself is enough for you to carry out an accurate analysis. If you go deeper into the hidden stems to consider the yin and yang relationship, it will kind of like it will only provide a very minor effects in terms of the accuracy of the reading because the earth branch, the main nature of the earth branch, the yin or yang nature of branch will kind of override the hidden stems kind of the yin and yang hidden stems energy. So you get what I mean? The earth branch itself, the yin and yang nature of the earth branch is more important.
Really?
Yes, of course, because hidden stems they are hidden in the sense that it is not so uh, obvious or ostensible in terms of Bazi reading.
So okay.
Yes.
So, but because it becomes direct wealth, yeah.
Yes, it becomes direct wealth because your metal is the direct wealth of being fire.
So if it's direct wealth, that is the spouse star, correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So it in a sense, should it be good or?
But nonetheless, Mao is still clashing with Yo. And so I will say, also given her periods, if you look at her periods, decade trends, they are all of the wood and fire trends. Given that it is a strong being fire kind of after the transformation, it is a strong being fire day master already, and the presence of the Mao wood is actually an inauspicious factor because it firstly it will further enhance the strength of the being fire. Secondly, it will clashes with the spouse domain, causing this Yo metal to be further weakened. Thus, the reason why he was not able to sustain his marriage in the long term, in the long run. Right? You get what I mean? Yeah.
So complicated.
Yeah, I mean, Bazi, when you look, if you just look at the egg character, it seems like there's not much inside. But if you really dissect, go microscopically into the hidden stems, the combination relationships, the clashing relationships, etc., it is actually very confusing and very there are a lot of factors you have to take into consideration when you analyze a birth chart. So he's not as it is very elegant in the sense that everything is very succinct and summarized. But if you really want to be accurate in your analysis, you have to break everything down. You have to, you know, take into consideration both the elements present within the original chart and also the yearly trend, the decade trends, of course, and the month also. Of course, the day also and time also. I mean, if you really want to, there's infinite amount of data you can generate from a Bazi chart. Um, so is it easy to decode? I would say, as long as you are able to build up your experience in decoding a chart, you will eventually be able to do it. It's just a matter of practice. It's just like, yeah. Yeah, so the more you practice, the better you
When
will.
would
Yeah.
this revert back to its original non-transformation? Is it when something affects the horse?
Yeah.
The yang fire?
Yes. Yes. Okay, let's assume, right? Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. So what affects fire is water.
Yes, in a way, but given that his chart is always having this Mao, this Yi wood and Mao wood, right at the our pillar. Thus, it's very hard for water to diminish the fire completely because water will always be channeled by the wood to further enhance the fire, to further enhance fire elemental energy within his chart. So I will say, given,
So
yeah.
So you're saying that this chart wouldn't revert back to its original Kui water?
Unless the water elemental energy and the elemental energy are both present, because you need something to eliminate the wood elemental energy at the time pillar first. Therefore, in Chinese, right, in Bazi, if we study Bazi in Chinese, there is always called the 喜用神. We always look for the 喜用神. 喜 means what is suitable, and 用 is what is necessary. There will always be two types of favorable factors. And for example, in this case, right, the favorable factors, assuming that Wu fire is not the month of branch, then you will okay, even without this assumption, you will still need the metal element to control the wood elemental energy first. Once the wood elemental energy is suppressed, then fire will not be fuel, and metal at the same time will be able to enhance water, giving it a more balanced chart in terms of its temperature. Because 调候 in Chinese, which is called the balancing of temperature, is another concept which is extremely important in terms of Bazi reading. And given his kind of birth chart, which is very strong in fire, you definitely need to adjust the temperature by using more metal and water element. So this is something to be taken into consideration. Okay, perhaps I will just mention in Bazi reading, there are three factors that are very important. First of all is the temperature, which is called 调候. Secondly is called 通关. 通关 means how you channel the energy from one form to another form. And thirdly is called the...
What is it in Cantonese?
Okay, Cantonese is called 调候. The adjusting of the temperature is called 调候. Then in the second factor, which is called 通关, 通关 in Cantonese is also called 通关. 通 means to 通 means like to smoothen the transformation of energy from one form to another form. Let's say in this case, right, actually he has kind of all the factors that is needed, but due to the transformation formation, there's a strong fire elemental energy. Anyway, his chart, right? I'm just saying that if someone is having a birth chart that has all the 5 elemental energy and they are able to channel smoothly from one form to another following the Wu Xing cycle, then you bring about a more balanced chart. But in this case that you are looking at, because the fire elemental energy is too strong, and that will actually melt the metal elemental energy, which is found within his day pillar of branch. So once fire enhances earth, and then because in Bazi reading, when fire is too strong and earth that is too hot, it will not be able to produce metal. So what I'm trying to say is that in order to 通关 for this person, he will need the metal and water elemental energy in his chart. I will elaborate on this point in the future. I know it's a bit hard to understand by looking at this birth chart. I will try to find you another better example. And the last point is called 病药. In Chinese, there's a saying that which goes in 八字, right? 无病不为贵 means, right? If your birth chart doesn't have any flaw, actually you will not be able to achieve great success. It's really because your birth chart has some kind of flaw or imbalance, and due to the supplement or the balancing mechanism that is found within your decade trend or yearly trend, that will bring about positive luck or positive developments to your life. So these 3 points are very important in terms of boundary reading. The last point is called Canton, is called 病藥. 病藥 means illness. 藥 means medicine. So you must have some kind of so-called illness or what I call flaw, imperfection within your boundary chart. Then it is by entering into certain decade trend or yearly trend whereby you are able to find your medicine. In a sense, you are able to find your cure to the imperfection of your boundary chart. Then you'll be able to achieve great success. That is also the reason why many people are born very poor, but due to them being able to enter into decade trends that are serving as the cure to their boundary chart, then suddenly they will become very famous and popular. For example, people like Jay Chou, who is the Taiwanese singer, born poor into a broken family, but eventually become very famous and successful in life. So these 3 factors are the things that we have to observe and analyze when we look at the boundary chart. I will give you more examples in the future, so don't worry about that. I know today's this chart, this case study is not really it shows the unique characteristics of transformation relationship, but not very helpful in terms of showing the 3 most important points in terms of boundary reading. So I will give you some other forms of case studies in the future, giving you other charts to analyze in the future. All right. Okay, yeah.
But the course is already completed, right? So there's no more interaction.
I plan to conduct one more course, and all my existing students of the intensive Bazi practical analysis course can attend free of charge, which is more focused on the indirect wealth hacking. So I will release the details later on once I have finalized the study materials, etc. Then you all can attend free of charge also. For my existing students, can attend free of charge. Yeah.
So looking back at the chart, then you said
you
need water and metal, which is basically it's the next decade trend, right? 60 to 70, 60 to 69.
Yes.
So is that the time where it can revert back to its original or no?
I will say because the energy of the month upfront, which is the Wu fire, will be greatly marginalized given the presence of the Zi water. Which first will clashes with Wu fire, and secondly, Xing metal is able to enhance the Kui water at the month. What I call the month heavenly stem. The day heavenly stems and the year heavenly stems, and subsequently high will form a hidden combination with the Wu Earth, also diminishing the Ding fire within the Wu Earth. So I will say he will actually revert back to as the Kui water day master from 2028 onwards. Yeah.
But only going for 10 years, right?
I would say all the way till he's 75. I will say all the way to he's 75 because gunmetal is also equivalent to sun. Sun is a longevity factor for rainwater, especially. Of course, every day, actually every day, every month, every year, we also experience some kind of rainwater day master. So it is still strong in the water elemental energy, given the presence of the gunmetal. And gunmetal, which is equivalent to sun metal, sun 有序 form a metal combination formation, which will also weaken the fire elemental energy at the Mon Earth branch. All right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So basically, okay. So that's the only time it will revert back, right? Otherwise,
yeah.
it will be always throughout his whole thing. It will always be considered bing, bing, bing for.
Yeah, especially in the trends that are in his previous trends, for example, those trends whereby the heavenly stems or the earthly branches are having fire or wood. All these trends are actually trends that may bring about fire transformation. And given the after 2013 is also of Kui, Kui is also combining with Wu Earth. So I will say, yeah, you still have to look at it as a fire transformation formation, even within the Chou decade trend, right? The Chou decade trend, there is this Xu here. Xu is able to form a combination formation with Wu. And overall, Chou is still a earth dominant energy, which will marginalize the level of water elemental energy within his chart. Any major events occurred in the year 2020 for him?
2020?
Yeah, 2020. Or 2021?
Well, he moved out, and 2019, I think, is when his divorce finalized.
Oh, 2019 was the year that his divorce was finalized. That was a year of high water. So was he happy actually after divorce?
I don't know. He moved from Nova Scotia to Ottawa, and that's when we met up again.
Oh, all right.
2020, I think.
Okay, 2020. All right, but
2019.
2019. As you know, 2019, 2020, and 2021 are all rather strong in the metal and water element. So could be years of great transformation that he's breaking free from something that has been perhaps because as you know, right, he was supposed to be looked at as a being fire day master, and suddenly turning into a water again means, right, he is able to find a kind of new life, becoming himself again kind of feeling. Was he actually, feeling more freedom and being able to be himself again after the divorce? Have you asked him about
I
it?
think so, yeah.
All right, so he's actually more happy. All right. Anyway, but I think this is a very very interesting case study, really. So we can keep this as a part of our inside our memory bank. So in the future, if we come across something similar, we can look at it from the same approach, whereby a day master that is born, for example, in this case of a Quay water, may not necessarily be Quay water after all. We have to look at it from a Bing fire perspective, actually. Okay. Yeah. So very very interesting case study. So I will send you more cases in the future related to the 3 points that I mentioned, so as to give you a better idea on what I was talking about the adjusting of the temperature, which is called 调候 in Cantonese, the 通關, which is called the channeling of energy, and the 病藥, which is called what I can call is directly translate as the illness and cure. I will give you some of these example in the future. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
Yeah.
just a quick recap of my transition.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was thinking of moving out in the month of July,
Yeah.
July 1st. Is that a good month to move, or?
Yeah, I will say after July will be good. Because okay, that will be entering into the second half of the year, which is Mao Wood, and that will enhance the fire elemental energy within your chart. So I will say it is a more positive period of time for you to start a new period or a new phase in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't move in June, right?
After July will be better because that is where the lunar year entering into the second half after the July.
Is there a special day in July? Was July 1 good or no? July 5th?
Perhaps I will choose a good day for you. I will firstly to look at the. I will have to do some calculation first, and I will update you on this.
Because if I were to sign a contract,
yeah,
it would have to start in July 1st, right?
Oh,
but then,
all right.
But then, do I actually move in July 1st? That's the other thing.
Okay. Let me do a quick check for you. I will say July 1st is good enough. If you really want to go ahead, it is already in a month that is rather positive for you. So I would say if you really want to do it in July 1st, it is okay to go ahead. That is more towards the signing of the contract, right? You are not moving on that day, right?
I could move. No, I had to sign the contract soon because
all right.
to reserve it.
All right. So if you want to sign the
contract within these couple days.
I see. I understand.
Yeah. Move is,
yeah. It is a good day for both signing of contract and moving into the new house also. If you want to. 1st of July is okay to go ahead.
So I'm also there's two. There's one that's facing east.
Yeah.
And there's one that's facing north.
North will be better. Any unit that you can find is facing south. I will say south will be the best if there is an option.
No, it's either facing north or east right now because.
Oh, all right. Then choose the one facing north.
Facing north, I went in. I just don't have that good.
Fine.
Whereas
all right.
when it's the east one, it's more welcome.
Ultimately, have to look at the entire birth chart. Honestly speaking, if you have the birth chart, you can send it over to me. I will help you to take a look.
You have my birth chart, no?
No, I mean the floor plan of the house.
Oh
yeah, sorry about yeah. The floor plan. If you have the floor plan, you can send it over to me and I will help you to take a look at it to see if it's suitable for you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. So I will update you on more birth chart later on as case study. Yeah. So
what I'll do here then is, given the thing that, how about I write another. I'll write it up and I'll send it to you. And then
yeah,
you
that would be great. That would be great. Then we can discuss the case together. That would be great also. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. I have a good day. Yeah.
Bye bye.
So actually, was having a private tuition with a student who has been attending my Bazi courses. Bazi is a very accurate type of extracurricular reading, but it will require you to have a lot of good understanding of the basics, such as the pairing of different heavenly stamps in terms of the Bazi system of analysis, the clashing relationship, the harming relationships, the punishment relationships, etc. And all these will actually cause significant changes within a Bazi birth chart. And to follow my video, I will continue to share with you other important information related to Bazi reading. Do like and share my video or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you in the next live video. Thank you and bye-bye.